Hello, I'm Bob from Bob's Workshop. I started this channel in 2017, and back then I was making these videos with a 2009 MacBook Pro. At the time, I didn't realize how slow it was. And then I moved on to a 2014 MacBook Pro, and it was like night and day. It was a lot faster to make these videos, edit them, and finalize them for publication. Along the way, I picked up a 2012 Mac Mini, which is also way faster than the 2009 MacBook. Last week, I took the hard drive out of the 2009 MacBook, and I put it into the 2012 Mac Mini. And that's when I discovered that I had a lot of videos that were never finished. And one of them has to do with a garage makeover. So you're about to see the final version, the final episode of that garage's makeover. Here it is. This garage was built in the early 1980s, and over time water had seeped into the areas around each door opening. That moisture caused a lot of damage to the oriented strand board behind the vinyl siding. I replaced the damaged wood and could have just reinstalled the siding and some new trim. But I'm pretty sure that the water would find a way back in again. That's when I decided to build a little overhang to direct rainwater away from the doors. So, I'd like this little roof to not only direct water away from the doors, I also want to add character and visual interest. So, when I was picturing the finished product, I envisioned a few decorative supports from below, as well as recessed lighting. The ribs of the overhang are generally 16 inches on center, with a few additional ones because I need to build this in 2 sections if I'm going to install it by myself. These brackets are just temporary, and they stick out a little further too, in order to support the upper sections until they're installed. Once in place, I'll attach it to the studs and the header above the doors using 3/8 inch lag screws. I recorded this about 6 years ago, and looking back at the footage now, I remembered that I had the camera and tripod clamped to one end of the roof, which explains why it's so shaky. If any of the neighbors were watching, the whole thing probably seemed a little weird, but when you're working by yourself and trying to record video, well, you have to get a little creative with your problem solving. The 2 sections lined up pretty well, Most of the plywood pieces were leftovers from other projects, but all shared the same thickness. During construction, I lost a whole SD card, so I can't show you the shingles going on, but I still have pretty much footage of the lower area being repaired and given a facelift. It looks like I'm not being too careful as I remove the siding, but I actually was, because I planned on reusing as much as possible after the repairs. The sill plate is a pressure-treated 2x4, but the OSB, the oriented strand board, soaked up a lot of moisture from snow piles over the years. I'll cut out the damage and replace it with plywood that's further protected by a little primer on all sides near the ground. With all of the damage repaired, I used a generic version of Tyvek house wrap to cover the OSB. I also covered the plywood on the roof with the same material. I made 4 of these brackets from reclaimed, pressure-treated lumber that I picked up locally on garbage night. People throw out some good stuff sometimes, or at least it's stuff that can be fixed or reused, and I'm always trying to save a little bit of money here and there. I'll put a link below if you want to see how these were made in greater detail, and also a link to the other garage-related videos. These won't be exposed directly to the rain since they're underneath the overhang, but with an eye towards avoiding future maintenance issues, I'll prime and paint everything before it's installed. The new overhang is attached firmly enough on its own. You saw that it was well supported even without these brackets, so they're mainly cosmetic. But I'll still use a bunch of long wood screws and even a few lag bolts to hold them onto the wall's framing. The bracket's location will allow me to install the door molding just where it was before. The original molding from 1983 was pine, but now the exact same shape is available in PVC, which will never rot. My goal is to have as little maintenance as possible down the road. I lost some video footage, but I've pre-wired this area for a few LED can lights. I also bought plywood that has a beaded edge look similar to what you'd find on this house's front porch. After cutting it to fit, I stained it before beginning the installation. The 3 light fixtures, which are very lightweight, came with a circle template for cutting the opening. Doing this on the ground is much easier than trying to work upside down and cutting the hole while being on a ladder. There will have to be a few touch-ups to the stain, but that's okay. Here, if you look closely enough, you can see that the finish nails were also partially driven into the plywood before going up onto the stepladder. The garage is about 24 feet across the front, so I had to make the fascia board in 2 sections. Both are redwood, and they come together in a beveled cut. The green siding went back on easily since the door frame's molding went back to its original position too. I decided to use redwood about halfway up though, and I stained it the same color as the area with the recessed light fixtures. I'm trying to make everything as waterproof as possible. So, all of the siding received a coat of stain front and back before installation. Even the white trim was painted before going up. When I'm done, I'll put a second coat of stain on the siding and a second coat of paint on all of the white trim. I should also mention that these nails are not just being driven into the OSB sheeting. I marked a vertical line to show where each stud is, and that's where the nails are going. This might be a nice place for Christmas lights hanging down from the fascia board, so I added an outlet that's on a ground protected circuit. Part 1 of this garage makeover was one of my earliest videos. It was also one that had pretty many views. I always felt bad that I never showed the finished project, but that missing SD card with its lost footage was a big stumbling block for me. This video is missing some key parts because of that, but I feel good about how things turned out, both with the garage and this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video gives you some closure. I think it gave me some. And until next time, this has been Bob's Workshop. Take care.